Cody for Cooking with Cajones. Tomorrow we are doing Barria Tacos, however you pronounce it, I don't know. But we're doing it for New Year's Eve. So I've got a large chuck roast here that I'm gonna do some night prior prep to. I'm gonna cut it up into some manageable pieces and we're gonna let it marinate in a sauce that I made today, where I took two ancho chilies. I de-seeded them, deveined, de-stemmed them. Two guajillo chilies, and did the same to those. And then 4 arboro chilies, or arbol chilies. Let them soak in some hot water for about 30-45 minutes. And then I put them in a blender with a little bit of the liquid, about maybe an 1/8 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, some salt, so a little bit of pepper, and blended that up into a sauce where you can see here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a fraction of that and let that marinate into this beef overnight. So we're going to cut those up into some smaller pieces that we can brown tomorrow, and it'll give the sauce a little bit more surface area to coat. Now this sauce is a little hot and it's a little spicy right now, but tomorrow we'll mix it with some beef broth and some water that the beef's gonna cook in for a few hours. So it's gonna mild out that spice quite a bit. So what we wanna do is I'm gonna put these in a little pan that I can cover. And we're gonna salt and pepper those before we put that sauce on. A bit more salt there. All right guys, sorry about that, my camera died on me. So I've salted and peppered these. I was just saying that, you know, the tacos tomorrow, what you'll do is you'll boil this meat, you'll add a little bit of this chili, or all of this chili sauce here. When it's ready to serve, after that beef is shredded, we'll add it to some warming tortillas on like a griddle, with a little bit of Mexican cheese, some cilantro, some onion, and a little bit of the sauce from the broth that we're going to be cooking it in. And then flip it over and kind of cook it like a quesadilla real quick. Make sure it's nice and warm, and that cheese will melt real nice. So I've salted and peppered these. We're gonna go ahead and put some of this chili sauce on. And I'm not gonna use my hands because I've still got chili oil on my fingers, which I'm probably gonna be fighting with all night. That should be enough to start with and get a good coat on this meat, coated all sides. Just like that. What we're going to do is we're just going to let this hang out in the fridge overnight. I'm going to cover it tightly, and by tomorrow it'll be ready to go. All right, so I'm going to cover this, put it in the fridge, and I'll talk to you tomorrow and we'll get everything started. All right, everybody, welcome back to Cooking with Cajones. We are on day 2 of cooking the Barria Tacos. I've had my meat marinating overnight in that red chili, guajillo chili, ancho chili, arbol chili blend that I talked about yesterday. So right now we're going to brown off the vegetables. Now we're going to brown off the meat first. We're going to remove the meat back from the pan once it's browned, and then we're going to brown some of the vegetables, and then we're going to combine it all with some water and some beef broth. All right, so we're going to get our crock here heated up. Get about, I don't know, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Heat up a minute. Our meat is taking on a beautiful red color here. Oh, it's gonna smell so good. The vegetables that we're putting in, I've got 2 medium-sized onions. I've got those quartered and peeled. I've got about a 3/4 of a cup of cilantro, fresh cilantro, just pulled off of the plant, not chopped up or anything like that, because we just want it to kind of sit in there and steep a little bit like tea. I've got 2 large carrots that I've cut the tops and the bottoms off, and I've cleaned them really well. I don't peel the carrots, just like I don't for my Italian sauce, because a lot of the nutrients are there in that peel, so I want that to kind of release into the sauce. I've also got 4 medium-sized, or I guess you can call them small-sized tomatoes. They're medium compared to like little grape tomatoes, but you can use 2 large tomatoes if you wanted to. But I like the amount of juice that these are going to release. So I've got 4 of those cut up into quarters, and I've got 3 large garlic cloves that have been peeled and crushed just a little bit. I've also got some spice blends that I'm going to put in there. We've got some bay leaves, we've got some black pepper, and it's coarse ground black pepper. We've got a little bit of kosher salt and some Mexican oregano that's been ground. So I'll put the amounts of these ingredients on the film when I do it. So looks like that olive oil is heated up. We'll stick these in there and brown. You want to hear that nice sizzle. Looks like we're going to get about 4 or 5 at a time. Okay, we'll let that brown on one side and we'll flip it back over. Get a fresh towel here. And like I said, we're going to put beef broth over this, but you can use chicken broth, you can use vegetable broth, anything you really want besides, seafood broth or something. And if you're a vegetarian, I mean, you can really do this with a good hearty mushroom, like a portobello mushroom. Naturally, you're going to want to cook the broth for a long time and then put the mushrooms in probably about 25 to 30 minutes prior to serving. At the end too, you can actually add some more fresh carrots, some more onions to kind of give it a little bit of bite, and serve it as a stew if you didn't want to serve it as tacos. So, all right, so this beef is just about browned all together. We're going to stick it back into the pan. Get it out of the way for a minute. Love that sound. All right, we're going to let that oil come back up to temperature, and I think it is already. So we're going to start, you want to brown these vegetables the best you can before you deglaze the pot. So we're going to start with the tomatoes because they have the most water content. And they're going to take just a tad longer to get a little sear on them. All right, now we're going to add the onions. Same reason. Keep working them so all the oil gets coated around them. All right, and then we'll just set the carrots down in there. Let them caramelize just a little bit. I know you guys can't see it. I wish you could see it. All right, and then last for the browning is we're going to put in the garlic because you don't want the garlic to burn, y'all. It'll carry that burn taste all through the soup. All right, that's looking really good. Okay, so we're gonna put the beef back in there. Set that on top of the vegetables. That allows that fat to render a little bit before you top it off with the liquid. Cook those vegetables just a little bit more. All right, pick up this marinade. Stick it down in there. Now the other marinade that I had made that we didn't use last night to marinate the meat, we're going to put that in a little bit later. If you don't recall, that's this here. What we're going to do is we're going to put the seasonings that I talked about in there. We're going to add our cilantro bundle. And now we're going to top it off with beef broth. Got 2 containers here. You just want it to cover the meat. It looks like that about did it. Perfect. All right. Got pieces sticking out there. So if the beef broth didn't cover your thing, maybe your pot's a little bigger, you can add a little bit of water just to top it off. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to reduce heat to a low medium, and we're going to let it simmer for about 2.5 to 3 hours. After that, we're going to add in our chili sauce and mix it around, and then we're going to cook it for another 3 hours on the same heat. And after that, it's going to be deliciously tender. So I'll click it back in when we're going to add that chili sauce. See you in about 3 hours. All right, everybody, it has been about 3 hours. We've cooked this beef down. Now we're going to add that red chili sauce, and we're going to cook it for about another 2.5 to 3 hours. See you then. All right, everybody, we're going to finish these Barria tacos off. We've got our beef here that's been cooking for about 6 hours, half in just beef broth, water, the onion, the carrot, etc. And then half we added the chili sauce. So what we're gonna do is we've got a hot griddle here, non-stick griddle. We're gonna add 1 corn tortilla to it. And then while we were off camera, I made some homemade flour tortillas. We're gonna see how those do. Let those get a good cook on them. We're going to add some of this shredded meat. Do some cilantro, raw onion, Colita cheese, or queso fresco, or you can use whatever kind of cheese you want. So those tortillas get a little soft, we're going to squish it over. Add a little bit of our sauce to the skillet. Cook on them, flip them over. And what we're going to do is we're going to serve these alongside of just a bowl of that good broth there, so you can dip the tacos into it. About done. there. Put that there. And of course, you keep going for as many tacos as you want, but there you have it, Barria Tacos with the broth to dip it into. Enjoy. Thank y'all for watching.